Right now I'm in my garden and it's lush and abundant in food, but this is a far spot from where we were 10 months ago. So let's go back to Hunter then and see all that had to get done in order to get to where we are today. And in order to keep you entertained, I'm gonna be eating this hot chili pepper. And I don't do very good with hot, but I'm gonna be filming the outro right now as I eat this, and I'll go around the whole property showing you everything that we've been growing and that's dying. And hopefully you'll stick around to the very end and see how I manage as I eat this hot chili pepper. All right, we'll check back in with Hunter and Payne at the end of this video. It's pretty comical to see. But for those of you who haven't been following along, we've been spending most of the year in Europe telling the stories of farmers. And so when we first got back to Hawaii, it was the end of September, and we were just adjusting to life here again. And when we first kind of got back into the garden, it was the first week of October, and we realized a lot of things had been overgrown. The first of which was our butterbean plant, which had grown over the entire trellis. We ended up collecting, I think, about a whole 5-gallon bucket in the end, and we were able to enjoy a lot of the butter beans and even donate some of them to our local library as a little seed bank. After that, we just kind of got rid of the plants that weren't providing anything. So a bunch of the tomato plants went into the compost bin, but it was really cool to be able to still harvest a bunch of the butter beans at the end because we got a bunch of food that we thought was going to go to waste while we were gone traveling. And we ended up using them in quite a few meals, and they were super delicious. This has been neglected for, I don't know, 9 months, pretty much since we left. All these beans that we have been growing that have just been drying out and need to get all demoed. So we've been in the process of doing that and getting the rest of the garden all prepped. So the big plant we had to cut down is this cotton plant. It's like a Hawaiian variety, native, ma'o, which apparently saved the cotton industry when there was a huge disease on the mainland. So we were just cutting them down and kind of feel bad. So we're collecting some of the seeds. They're like these fuzzy, really fuzzy, soft seeds. Look like this.
I think it's the cotton, yeah?
Yeah, the cotton right there, off these seeds. So they're really, really fuzzy. We just don't know how to process them and don't really have a need for them. So we'll save a couple if anyone wants them from our property, because this plant grew really, really well here, but we just don't have a need for it. So look, these little beans these ones are starting to hatch, or starting to germinate. Hatch. It's a boy. Oh, good job. But we got to get all these out because look, there's already little ones starting to grow. A little more, push. A little more. Whew.
Can I do it?
All right, put that in the pile. Okay. There we go.
Bobby,
We'll let that dry out and burn it in a little bit. Maybe like right up here. Yeah. All right. We'll give it some water and then we'll let that grow more. It likes to be pruned. Now we've got one full box clear. Got a little bit more on the trellis to clean up on that side right there. And then Emily's almost done with this one. There's just that the top canopy has got a lot of the stuff that needs to be taken off. Yeah, I'll show you what you can do, okay?
Can I chop it?
So I'm gonna cut down a part of it and then we'll take it down over there and then you guys can cut it into smaller pieces, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
That sounds good.
It does sound good. All right, well, 2, 3.
All the papaya fell down.
That cut a lot easier than I thought, huh?
Dad, look, one papaya's growing.
Look, one of them landed inside of the hole. And then one of the little papayas.
What if
Landing.
that papaya actually just
Whoa,
growed
it's so
in
tight
there?
in there.
What if it just
Wow.
growed in there?
It did not grow in there, it just fell inside. Right like that when I cut it. And down. Oh! Okay, one more time. Oh! Did you just cut that off?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right, we're gonna put it in the bucket. It's all gonna go to the chickens.
Me too.
Whew.
What is this thing?
After that, we went and pruned a little bit more in the tangerine tree and then just began raking all the junk and debris out of the garden beds. I wanted to kind of get a good base layer of dirt and soil that I could then amend with other things, which we'll be doing in just a little bit. It took us several days to do, but it was looking way better after we got it to a nice baseline. All right, this one needs all of its little extender pieces, but I got it to be like this, like that, and that one can spray. All right, so we got all the garden beds behind us. They're all cleaned out, all the weeds are out of them. We have the water line set up, so I'm gonna go turn it on and let's see if it works still. We'll find out where all the leaks are and the things we need to repair to get it set up so we can actually put plants in. We got a couple little ones that are working, but they don't have enough pressure because, let's take this off real quick, because we've got a couple that are broken, like that one. So it's just shooting and we're losing the pressure. But these are all gonna work right here. And then over here, these two are broken off. So Emily's just using them like that. And then the tangerine tree we pruned is growing this way more. You can see some of these new branches that I directed earlier this year coming all the way out here now. Like that. Coming out here and we've got a bunch of good fruit. Like these branches are so full, hanging way down. So yeah, they're good size. We're gonna get a couple little pieces for the watering system. Set up the timer or buy a new one because while we were gone, it looks like whatever this top piece is right here broke. It was on here that used to attach to down there. But I've got a little bit of more energy today, so Emily's gonna go make dinner because she put in good work. And I'm gonna go work on the driveway, see if I can get some more weeding done. So I decided to go over to the orchard area, which is along our driveway, which we planted out in 2022. And it had been very overgrown. I mean, we were kind of the only people that would go through and weed and take care of it at all. So I went over there and got a little bit of work done into the evening. The following day, I cleaned up the garden a little bit more and got all the tools out and any of the other plants that we needed to remove. You can see I still left behind a rosemary plant and a lemon balm plant in that left box. In the middle box, there's pretty much nothing. Everything got removed there. In the right box, which is covered by that green piece of wood, it has a bay plant and a basil plant. And the piece of wood was there just to block out chickens, which were escaping all the time. And we'll address that later in this video as well. And then the last box up in front just had 2 pineapples, which my brother put in. So he had someone take those out when he was a kid, and so we're going to leave them in this time, and hopefully they'll grow, and we'll get a pineapple out of it eventually. I just walked out into the garden to add in these little water sprayers to kind of fix the irrigation system so the pressure's not crazy, but of course we've got chickens roaming all around, all out of the chicken coop, and it's a project on the land right now. Everyone's out here working on all their different projects and buildings. So I showed you what the water looked like last time with it all spraying everywhere, all these like loose connections over here. They're right over there. So add these on and we'll see what the difference is. And we'll do that one right there. Open it up. Tiny little hose and that little tip right there. Push it in there. Nice and snug. And you hope it's just tight enough that it won't shoot water out and it goes on the least pressure, which is the top. We're gonna put that right here. Currently we just have this piece of wood here to keep the chickens out until we plant some stuff in it, but that'll be fixed shortly. All right, try the water.
Yeah, this box alone is used all that dirt, huh?
Yeah, now we just gotta see how far they're all going with, if I set it to a certain pressure. It all kind of spreads out. Goes. That's covering pretty much the whole area. This one got a little damaged. So this little one right here, it's got a busted connection. So I'll replace this one thing, and then I think we're gonna be good. I then took all the remaining dead branches and other plants and put them into our fire pit to burn them. I've got quite a bit of an addiction to making fires. I just absolutely love them. If I could cook a meal over a fire every night, I probably would. And if you haven't ever used a leaf blower as a trick to get a ton of airflow and just get a piping hot fire, you should do it. It's a lot of fun. The following week, I went around and collected all the things that I wanted to use in my soil amendment. And the goal is to utilize a bunch of old rotting wood and then break it up into small pieces so it can more easily break down. After that, I went and collected a bunch of mushroom substrate from a local mushroom grower in our community. And these are the bags that he grows the mushrooms from, but after he's harvested the first crop from it, he doesn't really use them again, so they just get thrown out. And they're a great way to add a bunch of mushroom or mycelium complex into your soil. So I went and added that to my mix and then broke it up a bunch. I also don't think I show in this video, but I also added a bunch of horse manure from a friend that was really dried out and had been sitting for a long time. And a mixture of those three things with a little bit of grass clippings can go a long way in adding additional nutrients to your soil. The following week, I got a call from my beekeeping mentor, Katie, who was pretty excited for us to get bees again now that we were back on island. And she said that she got a call from someone in a town over that there was a swarm hanging out in their neighborhood and it needed to be captured. So I got a little suit on as I went over and caught this swarm that was in this tree. I initially tried to grab them, but they just stay under gloves so much. So I got the main part of the branch off and then just knocked them all in and let them slowly climb in. Unfortunately, I think they got sprayed with poison first and the queen didn't make it. So I just had bees with no queen, which is kind of a problem. So I quickly ordered some additional beekeeping equipment and contacted my friends who I know have some swarms to see if I could add them into this one so that I'd have a queen and just a larger hive in general. And I don't really have a lot of good footage of me getting those bees, but just imagine me taking them, bringing them to my hive, and then making a very dumb decision of trying to add them in at night in the rain. It was very chaotic. The bees got very mad at me. I think I ended up getting stung on my neck about 3 times because I had a very thin suit. So it was a really good awakening to my beekeeping world again, noticing that I have been out of the game for a little while and was too eager and made a pretty poor decision. But we will see how they're doing in a couple weeks. For the time being, we got back into the garden, and the main thing we really wanted to do was get a lot of seed started since our soil was now getting moist and growing. We knew that it was going to be ready to plant in pretty soon, so we wanted to get some seeds going so in about 2 or 3 weeks we could then plant them out and get some things in the ground. Even though by the time we'd be getting them in, it would be close to winter. Here in Hawaii, we just get a lot of rain. We don't really get cold, so we can maybe get away with it. And we weren't getting too much rain, so we were hoping that we'd get off lucky with a little harvest in late winter and early spring.
Well, thanks for the help, man.
Yeah, for sure. You can teach your skills or... So after I added the amendments to my soil, the last thing that was missing was just a bunch of compost. This would help to bring my soil to a nice healthy balance. I figured that most of the nutrients have been washed out or been taken up by the plants that were in there the entire year that we were gone. So got a nice load of compost and unloaded it into kind of our holding area as I waited for other beds to be built and also for the soil to sit long enough. I also just can't really move 2,000 pounds of soil all in one day. So I got a little bit moved over into the garden beds and then mixed in so that the layer isn't just, my old soil and compost, but it's all kind of mixed together. And this would hopefully just allow the soil to get nice and healthy and active and prepare to be planted in, which then I'll eventually cover with straw, which will help to kind of keep that moisture in, which will hopefully allow us to beat a lot of the heat, which is going to be coming later this year. I've noticed that in order to keep my soil active and moist and doing well at retaining the nutrients for the plants is to keep it covered. So with about $20, I was able to get a bunch of straw, cover all that soil, and it already looked like it had improved with just a few days of watering, as you could kind of hold the soil tight and it would hold its shape, which is a great sign to see. All right, we're back after about 2 days now, and all that chaos that one night, so got a better suit and smokers going. So let's see if we can merge the 2 hives and give back the nuke to the guy who lent it to us and get everything into one hive. Hopefully they accepted the queen and we have a happy colony all as one now. A little more smoke. So at this point, it's been about a week since I've had the bees, and I've added in the larger colony or the swarm that I got from a friend. And you can see that a lot of the comb was built kind of odd in this swarm box, and so I just transferred all the frames directly over. The problem with that is they're not really going to fit in the boxes I need them to fit in. So a lot of this comb that was hanging off of the frames needed to be cut off and then added into empty frames. And so the way that we do that is we will remove that comb and keep all of it intact as much as possible, and then put them into an empty frame by removing the plastic foundation and then adding in rubber bands that will then kind of hold it in place until the bees can connect it to that frame and then they'll slowly chew out a bunch of the rubber bands because they don't really like having foreign objects in their hive. The way that I combine these two hives in order for them to get along is usually you put a layer of newspaper in between the two boxes so that the pheromones of one hive to the next will get to adjust to each other slowly before they just are all put together. So this kind of creates a barrier and allows them to get to know one another a little bit more before you just put them together in such tight quarters. Alright, I just spotted her on this frame. She's right there. There she is right there. See her? That's our queen. And there she is right there in that clip. See her? That's a big queen. Ooh, yeah, she is healthy. Healthy and solid. So I'm just going to keep her in here. Some of these attendant bees can come and help her out. But that way I just don't lose her. She doesn't run away. I don't hurt her in the process of moving everything around. So that's what we were looking for. Nice. See all those babies? That's why we can't lose them. That's like another 5,000 bees right there. You see that? Beautiful comb. Beautiful babies. Okay. Little trap is empty and she is set free. As you can see, the bees have been much calmer today. I mean, they got a little riled up, but I was doing quite a bit. Overall, they've been very, very easy to work with. So I only got one sting in my glove, which I didn't feel because it's, you know, it's a glove. Put on the lid. Block all that rain out. Bees are so funny. Literally in the process of me putting these frames in this hive and using the rubber bands, they've already kicked one out right there, snapped it and kicked it out, and they've already got another one going out the door right now. They don't like foreign objects in their hives. They've snapped this one along with all this dust they made from the paper, and they just go like that and they shoot it out their hive and say no plastic, no rubber. Pretty much anything, I mean, just no synthetic things. Anything they can get rid of, they ideally would try to. So we'll pick up this trash now since they've already gotten rid of it. All right, overall a success today. Swapped the two hives over. They're happy, they like their queen, she's laying eggs. New suit did better, no stings, just one on my glove, which I couldn't feel anyways. So we'll wrap this all up and we'll just keep track of them, see how they keep doing over the next couple months. All right, we're back after a week and I had rubber banded all this comb in. You can actually kind of see they're chewing a bunch of that rubber bands. Let's see, right there. See all that chewing kind of right in the middle? They're trying to get rid of it. Look down in those cells, you'll see the little eggs. Some of them are standing up, some of them are curled over. All right, we found our queen. A little dark, but you can see right there. Just right on the corner. Right there. There she goes. She's doing good, laying lots of eggs. And this entire corner is just packed with honey. This is a food and honey frame with lots of baby bees right in the middle that are not fully capped brood yet. But our queen is walking around looking for what she can get done. All right, so I'm gonna wrap up the hive behind me, close it up. Got the queen, got eggs, got lots of food. They're doing good. I'll take off the feeder off the front and we're good to wait for this hive just to keep on growing. They're gonna have thousands of more bees in just 2 weeks because of how many eggs are in here right now they're going. So I might get pretty close eventually to having to put a hole in the top box on top of this where they can start filling it with honey. So pretty exciting growth. It's been about a month now since we planted the seeds, and we had quite a few seedlings that were ready to transplant. And after we got those in, we went around and direct sowed some of the seeds that just performed better that way, which in this case were a row of carrots and then a row of beets. Like, these beets are growing up super well. A couple of them growing sideways already. Carrots are coming in. Our little nasturtium.
Nice.
But look at this.
Yeah, these are going crazy. Like double themselves.
Look at that. They're gotten huge. Yeah. And look, the ones that we thought were going to do bad.
Hardly any snails.
1, 2, 3 little one. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah,
You see all the
you're doing great.
flowers?
We got our chili peppers,
Planted.
flower.
Oh, see, look. I planted one over there.
A little flower got
But
maybe a
it
little
got
bit
like
nibbled.
eaten or something, and that's another one.
Flower. But
And then I planted 2 dahlias and a zinnia there.
I think they're loving real rain water.
Well, yeah,
with all the
so
minerals in
many
it.
More.
Doing great. And then
And these are,
boom.
you already need to cut them back.
We got all the sweet potatoes thriving.
Right now, see.
Yep, those can start growing because this plant has very well established itself now, and it's got tons of buds on it. Yep. Good. Yep. We got tons of little growth to follow it up. Let's see, bring it down. See the little one? To replace it. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. Do you see this? That's already like gonna go to spore.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's
Wait, you should text Rama and ask her if we can eat this.
That's an extra
at
mushroom.
this point.
And you can see some of them are trying to grow in here too. Some of the lion's manes. And that's a
Do you have
huge.
your phone? Take a picture of this and ask him if we can eat it.
Yeah, I do.
That's beautiful.
There's some layers under there.
It's insane. Look how pretty this is. It looks like a dress.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Just been sitting out here in the rain.
I thought they were all spent.
No, there's still trying to send out more. Who knows? There could be. There's another one going down there. Best way to disconnect it.
Oh, it's done. Oh, so auto these. It's beautiful.
Now, a few weeks later, December 13th, and the seedlings are coming up. We have our beets and our carrots starting to look quite good. We further thin them out in order to just better our crops so that the ones that do grow will be the strongest and the most reliable, and they'll actually be able to give us a really good, beet size and also carrot size. We then added in some new seeds, a new row, which is going to be leeks and scallions. So I just went around, hopping around the garden bed. Usually I'm in my trunks when I go and do the seeding and just planting and gardening later in the evening, kind of our golden hour time. I mean, it's nice to film, but in reality, we're either about to go to the beach and then wash off all the mud, or we just got back from the beach and we are getting muddy before we hop in our shower for the night. And throughout most of this film, you'll probably see me in my trunks going out in the garden and getting things done because I just feel like it's one of the best times. We're going out in nature, we're going to get in the ocean either before or after, and it's a good time to go get muddy one last time. And so we went around, planted some seeds, planted some things that were potted up that my brother had growing. And what we're putting in right now in this area, which is just next to the sweet potatoes, is going to be ginger and then some turmeric. We had some of it that we got from my brother, and then the rest of it was just from the store. And we just broke off pieces and popped it in. And this is a way that we get a lot of our seeds. We just go to the store and get something that we enjoy eating, like in this case, a butternut squash, and break it open. And we'll go and take those seeds and plant them out. And they end up doing really well and grow kind of better than the seeds that we buy from the store, because sometimes those seeds have been sitting for a really long time and they just don't germinate really well. So along with the butternut, we also put in some kabocha squash, as those hardier, kind of thick-skinned squash do really well here, compared to the summer squash or zucchinis, which just get eaten by pests really quickly and don't do very well for us. Okay, at this point, it's now winter, and most of our seeds are in. Most of the things that we're hoping to grow during this winter and early spring have been planted and are starting to come up, which is super exciting. We're getting quite a bit of sun, and for winter or even fall, it's been really, really dry. And this kind of gave us a little bit of false hope, thinking that we were going to get a really dry winter. That kind of comes to bite us in the butt a little bit later on. But for now, it's sunny and things are growing. And I went around the garden to kind of give an update of everything that was growing and doing well. I then went around to our areca palms, which don't really provide food, but our bees love them whenever they go into bloom. There's a bunch of tiny little flowers which they love to spend time on. And while I was there, I saw these, I think they're called Madagascar sun geckos or day geckos, and they're really beautiful geckos, although they are invasive and they eat our native gecko. So ideally they are good for us to get rid of, but they're really pretty to look at as well. It's kind of interesting to see them do this kind of little mating dance and then fight. Didn't really look like it worked out for him. So went back to filming the bees and seeing them on all the flowers, just happy and getting their nectar. At this point, our tomato plants are closing in on 2 feet. Our peppers are starting to come in. carrots and beets are starting to look quite good, and we even have the little leeks and scallions starting to come up as well. So it's getting really exciting in the garden to see all this food that we planted starting to actually grow and take shape. And it's kind of crazy to highlight in this video that now we are going into a new year. Somehow 2025 has passed us by. We got a lot in and a lot is growing, but we're now about to enter into our new year of 2026. Unfortunately, the garden is looking great. As you can see, it's only just a few days later, but things are growing very quickly with the amount of rain that we're getting, the watering we're giving them, and then just so much more sun than we're used to in December. And just a few weeks into January, and the garden is looking probably the best it does in maybe almost this entire film. I mean, there's still some seedlings and small things, so we will get to see some larger plants and some nice harvests later on. But to me, seeing the young growth and just seeing the seedlings shoot up and grow so well and so quickly is just so encouraging to see. Our tomatoes are big and they're starting to put out little tiny flowers. Our peppers are getting full. Our beets and our carrots are getting really, really healthy and big. The chickens are also happy, taking in tons of sun and enjoying this time of year as they're kind of coming out of their molting season, and hopefully will start to produce a lot more eggs for us. You can also see our ulu tree, which is growing well, and then our giant royal palm, which is probably gonna die, which is really, really sad. But we have an invasive beetle here which targets palms and is eating this one at the crown, and it's just too large for us to treat, and we don't want to add any poison to it to kill any of the pollinators. So really sad. This tree's been in our family for over 40 years, but we'll just have to see if it makes it.
There's our queen right there.
I then didn't get into the garden for a little while because we ended up having a baby on the 17th. So just a few days before this, I was filming, not knowing that we were going to have a baby 2 or 3 weeks early. So we were in the hospital for several days, and it was a rough birth, but we got it done. And my wife, Emily, is an absolute trooper getting through that. And so the only thing that I was able to get back to was the bees, because they are a living organism that really needs me to be hands-on. So this is about almost a week after we gave birth and just a couple days after I got back. And somehow I convinced Emily to let me go and see the bees. And mostly because I'm adding in a new beehive with a collaboration with another bee company. So I need to get things moving in that direction and get bees in. So although it's pretty hard to get out of the house when you have a newborn and it's hard to justify leaving, I got out really quick just to get to the bees, give them some more sugar water, and to get a new hive set in place in order to add bees to it.
All right, here's the problem. We have our garden box right here. It's doing super good, but it's doing too good. So it's growing all out everywhere, all over there, all back here. And so what we need to do is I need to take all of these vines and wires, and I'm gonna attach it up there onto my brother's house right there. So I'm gonna put them right there. And so all these vines that are right here will be going this way. And then I can put a little trellis that's all the way over there, over here, so that all these vines can hopefully grow up it. So that's the plan. Let's get into it. We're always having to go all the way under this canopy in order to access any of this garden space here. So
now that we're in February, you can see that we have this kind of new area we want to grow. We have these new 2 Vigo beds, which again was another sponsorship, which was awesome to do. And we needed to be able to walk through this area a lot easier. In the past, the chickens used to be in this area, so it didn't matter too much. But these vines are just getting too big and they're too low. So hopefully by changing them over to my brother's eave on his house, it will allow them to be a little higher, out of the way, and hopefully just grow a lot more fruit.
So the main issue is that from one location it's longer, and then from other locations it's shorter. So here, I'll show you. So this line from right here is going to be way shorter. Then it's going to be, or this is going to be like the longest one or the closest to this corner, and then it gets, you know, progressively shorter and shorter further away. So got to find a way to properly do this. That, okay. So here's our first line. And then I just gotta loop it around this a couple times. Give it that strength so I can hold these vines up. 1, 2, 3. And again. All right, that's probably enough. We'll just have to pull and see. That's pretty good on that one. One more to go. It's over that one. But yeah, I'll just have to like hook these back up. I mean, some of them I got ripped or cut in the process, so it is what it is. All right, they're all up. I'm just gonna string up some of the ones that are kind of falling down so that it looks a little cleaner, but I'll give you maybe like 2 to 3 weeks and I'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like and how quickly these vines grow, even though I had to cut them back a little bit. But this is what we're doing it for, these lilikoi, beautiful, delicious tasting fruit. So let's go put them up. For those of you who don't know, they all have these really tiny little tendrils that get really tight and kind of sticky, and you just take them, we just put them up on the wire, and then just loop them a bunch of times around the loops. And they'll stay and just get stronger and stronger. As you can see, the garden got away from us. These tomato plants are almost as tall as this, which is over 7 feet tall. We got tons and tons of chili peppers all growing. Flowers are all starting to look really beautiful. So it's growing like crazy.
During that time while we were in the hospital, we really didn't get to see any pictures of the garden, and we weren't getting out, even looking out our window very much, because we were in the trenches of the newborn stage. So when I went back out that day working on the lilikoi vines and just see that the plants are higher than me and growing so quickly, when you're just away from something a week, it's crazy to see how much things change.
All right, and this is the trellis I want to move over to the kabocha squash area. So I'm gonna get it disconnected and then bring it over. I think that's it. Hey! Okay. I'm gonna take some of these vines and we gotta put them up here. Shh. Gotta take some of these vines and put them up on here. I'm gonna stake it in though. All right, I got the bees. Okay. All right, so I just got these bees. This swarm that was hanging on a tree from a local zip lining company. And they said this is one of their healthiest swarms. They have a ton up there. And this is gonna go into our primal beehive. Pretty heavy, probably 25 pounds or so. All right, pretty excited. Let's go set it up. And then in a couple days, we will go and open up this hive and put them into the primal beehive. Last time I was a little too eager. Back that up. Last time I was a little bit too eager. And I added them in during the middle of the night, and it rained on me. That was a terrible idea. I got stung 3 times on the back of my neck, and they were not very happy about it. All right, I'm gonna set you down. You can see the spot we're gonna be putting them into. All right, so let's see the hive they're gonna be in. Let's see if this will fit right there. All right, 3, 2, and 1. All right, I don't know if you can see me back here, but it's all you guys and them now. Be back in 3 days.
The following day, and I'm back in the garden, trying to do something that we've kind of failed at in the past in our garden, which is to succession plant a little better. So in this situation, our beets and our carrots have been in for about half of their growing stage. You know, they take about 90 days or so. And so halfway through, our goal is to then plant a new set of rows of carrots and beets again. And that way, when we harvest, hopefully we'll get a large enough harvest that we can have them for, that month. We'll then be able to eat the next harvest after that. And hopefully we'll be able to bounce back and forth with this. But we're working with limited space. In reality, this is just a backyard garden with chickens and bees. And we call it a homestead, even though it's probably the most micro of a homestead. We show our land to people who follow us, and they're always kind of shocked, like, whoa, this is all you guys are doing? Like, this is the only space that you have? And yeah, it's really not that big, although we try to utilize it the best that we can.
Just all that wind and rain really did a lot of damage. So still a little bit messy up on top, but hopefully it'll filter out up here and I can angle it so we have a little more room. But now let's pick some peppers. All right, a couple days later, we're back. Let's put these bees into their new home. Some beautiful birds with us today. Just pulled out a second frame and I found the queen on here, so that's a great sign. She's right here on the corner. You can see her. She's just moving around. Right there. Right there. That's our nice healthy queen. All right, now it's in there. I'm just gonna give it a shake and let all these bees go inside. All right, and then now what you can see right here is you can see all these bees pointing their butts up into the air and fanning, and they're letting the rest of the bees know that, hey, the queen is in here. All right, so the next frame that has the most bees on it, so we're just gonna knock them all in there. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And then this is a top board, which has a little feeder hole, so I can put my feeder in this and then put the box on top. And 1. Okay, and just like that. Okay, this goes on, just like that, and then the lid goes on top of this. Just a little bit of glistening. So they've got a little bit of nectar. That's pretty good. Good start, at least, in winter, when there's a lot less in bloom. What's super nice is I barely had to use any smoke at all, and these bees are just super calm. No issues. They're just going with the flow. They know I'm here to help and not cause any problems. This is a great frame. Kind of odd that it's full of bee bread, which is all their food for their babies, kind of right in the middle where, I mean, I guess that's where the babies are laid, but usually they put food around the edges of the hive. So let's see if I can see any eggs. Oh, okay, but the entire middle of this frame is all filled with eggs. Quite a few drones during this springtime. Oh, and here she is. Just found our queen. And I'll try not to block the light, but she's right here. Right there, that's our good healthy queen. Put the lid on and we're happy with our efforts today.
And believe it or not, we're now closing in on the end of February, which is pretty crazy. And I still have not shown you our orchard, which we call an orchard even if it's not particularly. But it's a long line of fruit trees, which we call an orchard, that goes along our driveway, which many years ago used to have just areca palms here, which I cut back about 400 trees. I dug up all the root balls, added in new soil, and then planted up trees with my family. And now this is what it looks like. We have a bunch of banana trees. We have an avocado tree, which is doing really well, along with a fig tree. I think there's a citrus tree in here somewhere, and then some kalo on the ground, or taro if you're not familiar with that, and then a lot of bananas. Honestly, I just love to grow bananas. Everyone on our property goes through bananas crazy quick, so we can never really have enough. Even when we're harvesting tons of bunches, we freeze them, we dehydrate them, and we use them in our smoothies almost every day. So this new orchard being full of banana trees over areca palms is a huge win for us. And at this point, I'm noticing that the bunches are getting quite small because these plants have been here for about 3 years now, which is starting to get into that range where they've eaten up a lot of the nutrients, their root mats are getting really large, and they're getting close to needing to be replaced. So later in the year, I do address that, and it's probably one of the biggest projects we do. But other than that, there's something that was being neglected, which was going through the garden and fertilizing it. I did add fertilizer to the garden beds that I amended, but there was a lot of other plants like the banana trees and our tangerine tree, and even these beds could use another fertilization as we were getting a lot of rain and a lot of that nutrients is getting washed out. So I went around with a homemade mix that I made years ago, which I believe has bone meal, blood meal, kelp meal, fish meal, green sand, azomite, and then lime. It's not fully complex as it's still missing some essential things, but it does a really good job at creating a lot of good root growth, a lot of good leaf growth, and hopefully also push them into a good fruiting zone as well, as some of those other nutrients will break down.
All right, this isn't the most ideal, but I did add a little bit of fertilizer to these brand new seedlings that are coming up right here, and I do believe that it's going to rain tonight, so that'll all just get washed too, so it shouldn't cause much issue, but got little tiny carrots coming through right here. There's little carrots. And then this is another row of beets right here that are growing. So pretty happy with those right there. Hopefully they'll keep going and then we'll just pull out the big ones at a time and eat them. And then another row of carrots all right here. Then our beautiful nasturtium that are growing all right next to it, but not beautiful flowers. I heavily fertilized around the tangerine tree. And as you can see, there are a ton of tangerines all in this whole tree. I mean, look at that clump right there. That's tons. Kind of broad forking it. This is a bunch of just old sweet potato slips that just grew in this area that we had already harvested, but the ones we missed that we couldn't find. So got the greens out, got most of it all broad forked. We've got a few sweet potatoes, not like a lot. These are just like the ones that were left over. So maybe for like one dinner, but yeah, going to just finish broad forking this all. Let's see, like that. So just finished broad forking this all, so I'm gonna go over there and cut down a bunch of banana trees, and then I'm going to lay them all on top, cover all the soil, see what other slips come up, and hopefully let all that organic matter just break down, kind of better the soil up. So let's go get into that. Okay, so I'm gonna cut down a bunch of these banana trees because this is all clay soil, it gets really flooded. They like to be wet, these roots of the banana trees, but they're honestly just not doing well here. So Gonna put something else here that might do better, but just remove these first 3 trees or so. Should have done this from the beginning. Thought this would be fun. Just go down and hit them all. Yep, that was as fun as I thought it would be. Makes a world of a difference when you have a sharp blade. All right, all good. We'll let this break down for a little bit, and then we'll probably cover it with some wood chips or some more soil, and then we can plant in it. Hopefully I'll create some good organic layers. Beets and carrots right here. See if we can go on the other side.
I see a beet above.
There's some beets, huh? There's some big ones.
Yeah.
So we planted these beets and carrots right here behind us. It's one of the first things we put in this garden bed as soon as we moved into this area. You can also see these are the tomato plants behind us. They are probably 7 or 8 feet tall now. They're super, super tall. Yeah, we have carrots and we have beets, and there's a couple of beets that are definitely growing a little bit big. So we're gonna harvest a couple of those now.
Yep, we are.
Yeah, it's a good sized beet.
Ooh, that's a good one. Ah, Dad.
It's like closing in on tennis ball size. So
Dad, could I get one?
yeah, you can pick one.
Okay. Oh, that was a good burp, wasn't it? Wasn't it, Dad?
Was.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's another good sized beet. The leaves all want to get stuck together. Another good beet. Palm size. And no damage, so that's nice. These tops will kind of get eaten up by animals, sometimes some slugs and stuff, so. Sweet. Go ahead. Whoa. Holy smokes, I think you got the biggest one.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. That's the biggest one for sure, Otto. Good work.
Thank you.
Master.
So
I think I'm gonna leave them and let them keep growing. That way because we have enough for tonight, okay? All right, so there's a couple more good sized ones, but we'll just let them keep growing and then we'll have them for dinner another night. But this is plenty for tonight. Got 5 of the biggest ones, so the rest of them can keep kind of growing. This will kind of clear up some space so they can kind of grow out and not be so crowded. So pretty sweet. This is like definitely one of our best beet harvests we've ever had. These are like almost tennis ball size. This one's probably tennis ball size. And the rest are, you know, gonna be good eating. This is kind of the ideal size for harvesting. They're easier to kind of manage. And then all these greens, you can't eat them, and we could use them in a salad or something like that. But our chickens really love them too, and we mostly grew them for the beets. So pretty awesome harvest. We're gonna be checking on the carrots that are right next to them in maybe another 3 weeks to a month. So pretty excited though. All right, so we're now March 7th. Just harvested some beets there. We got beets and carrots growing. We got scallions and leeks, and we have another row of carrots and then beets growing here. Got some pineapples growing, and then all of our peppers just got replanted or repotted because they're kind of getting all shaded out over there by the tomato plants, which have, as you can see, they're like almost over 8 feet tall now. So they're all in here. Got some sweet peppers growing. looking beautiful. But most of them had their peppers and little flowers plucked off like this, just to help them not focus on the flowering stage, but focus on preparing all these leaves, which look pretty sick. So all these are in pots now. We have all of our tomato plants that are putting out flowers now. You got some of them that have some big tomatoes on them, and then some other ones that are, they can be black plums. Those are aromas down there. There's aromas in there. And then got the kind of smaller sun gold variety right there. Basil plant's doing good. Tangerine tree is going insane. There's so much growth. Some of them are harvestable and ready to be picked right now. Very close. Could clean out all these tomato plants because they're kind of getting crazy, super big. Pepper plants, Hawaiian chili pepper is doing super good over here. It was planted kind of early on. Got our flowers going good, some of our calo, and then our sweet potatoes. I just cleaned all these up. You can see the ginger's already putting out some additional growth right here. So that's probably gonna be pretty robust once it gets bigger. Keep those covered up. And then we have rosemary and our lemon balm here, and a little bit of a tomato plant compost tea, which I've been putting on the plants here and there. Nasturtium is looking beautiful, doing super good. And this is kind of what the whole garden looks like during golden hour. It's getting pretty full, and especially from when we first got here and what it looked like.
All right, we're now in March, and you probably haven't heard from me for a while because I started getting more comfortable talking to the camera and filming myself. So you've actually been able to see me talk to the camera live and not just the voiceover, which is ideal, and I enjoy that a lot more.
The beets are good.
We're now in March, and the rain has come. A lot of rain. More rain than we've had in a super long time. This is actually called a Kona low storm, and it ended up coming 2 weeks back to back, which ended up causing a ton of flooding. I think about 40 homes in the neighboring town got completely washed away. The other homes ended up getting flooded and damaged. Cars got flipped into ravines and totally destroyed. It was chaotic. It was really bad. On our property, we got away with just barely not flooding my brother's little tiny home in the corner of the property. But we had so much water that we were able to do a slip and slide in our backyard, and we had pools that we were able to actually swim through. So I walked through the garden to see how things were doing, and surprisingly, with all the wind and rain, they were holding up really well.
All right, so we had lots of rain last night, and it's raining all day today too, and probably all weekend. So behind me is the garden. Everything's getting soaked. You can see all the grass. Yeah, everything's flooding everywhere in here. Everything's getting pretty wet, but you know, we're making do with what we got so far. Hopefully you can hear me. It's pretty crazy how much rain we're getting, and just the absolute waterfall that's coming down our property right now. Go show you the chicken coop. It's not faring much better either. Chickens are all hiding inside, and this is their coop right now. Super flooded. Chickens are all hiding in there. You can see them. And little greenhouse in the back is doing good, which is awesome to see. Everything there looks dry. This is a little example of water that's been running down off this little roof, this gutter, and that entire tub is full just over one night. It's pretty crazy how much has happened in just one night of rain. I think we'll make it through this crazy rainstorm, which is you never know how much rain you're gonna get. This is definitely on the high side. And then our little seedlings we put up here and all of our potted plants are doing pretty good. You can see they're getting water, but not nearly as thrash as they would be. And we got our seedlings down there. Doing good. Okay, make it through the storm. All right, the time has come to harvest some of the crops that have been growing for about 3 months now, and also the ones that are just getting demolished by all the rain that we had. All right, we got Total Crunchy behind us going. All the reusable diapers are up hanging and drying, but all the storm is gone. Some of our plants are pretty much dead, and we can harvest some things off them. But we also have carrots back there, maybe some beets as well. They've been in the ground for about 3 months, so time to take them out and see what the harvest looks like. Cut this one off.
Yeah.
Nice little kabocha.
Nice little guy. It's
Yeah.
like the size of his head.
Yeah, there's one up there and down here too. Yeah, I know. Wood chip delivery comes soon.
Man, I'm
It's nice. Yeah, it's a nice one.
That's probably the best.
Yeah, it's the best size. Monday wood chips come for all these stinky girls in here. Too much rain, too much stink. Okay, that's it. This one's not bad either.
I saw a little.
There's some little.
Did the birds get it or what?
They were starting to peck at it, but they're pretty thick skinned,
Oh, it's
so
probably that chicken, that one that just flew away.
yeah. So I think they still be all right. Okay, so here's these three. Pull this bed out. You can see the chickens have been going crazy in here when they escape. Chickens. Tomatoes are going.
Oh, they're so cute.
See them all right there? Plenty. Good tomatoes all up there, and I put them all up high now. So now you can walk under a whole
There's like one.
a little shelter of tomatoes. There's a bunch right here too. Oh no, sad baby.
Like a really big one.
Look at right here.
Yeah, that one. Hopefully it's long.
Not
Oh, that's
not
good.
not long, but not also long. Such sticky.
That's a good one.
Yeah, solid.
Yeah, I know Otto wants to help.
Okay, I'm gonna
Pick
check.
some. That one's probably good.
That one's
too,
probably
right?
good. Yeah.
Otto! Ooh, that's a good one.
Wow.
You want to pick a carrot?
All right.
Good job.
We'll cover up these.
Okay,
That's
then
a-
we can pick like one more.
That's a good one. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Whoa. All right. So our little collection, some good ones, nice big ones, and then little stubbies. All right, let's see what other beets we've got in here that are big and ready to come out. Oh, that's a good one. Right back in there. There you go. A good little beet. All right. Kabocha squashes, beets, carrots, green onions. All looking pretty good. Awesome. And there's still plenty of food in here, which we can harvest as the meal is dictating, as we need to get things out. Just pile up this dirt over here. Keep these things all happy and covered. I think on top of all the veg, we've got a couple tangerines that are ready to be picked, which is great. I'm not quite there yet. This one. Yep. All right. 3 more tangerines. And we've got our full collection of fruit and veg. Always down for the greens. All right, the harvest has been accomplished. Got what we need. Probably gonna make like a vegetable soup. That way these things will be put to good use because they go pretty quick here. It's harder to cure things in tropical climates, but it'll make good soup and we can freeze it, we can use it. Multiple dinners ahead of us. Just gonna get this banana bunch down before too much more rain comes. It's way back here. Okay, it's gonna be a heavy one. Ready. 3, 2, 1. Oh. It's a heavy one with a little lizard in it. There's one more to do down there. See if we can get it way over here in the corner. And this one's actually starting to turn yellow, so they gotta come down now. Just grab the bunch, cut it down. Yep, this one's already gone. Birds already ate it. Ripe. These ones will be good to eat like this week, huh? The birds get them really, really quick, even with all this rain around. It's like dumping. We've got absolute flooding all over the place, but got bananas too.
Yep.
You see behind us, all that rain way up in the mountains. Way up there.
Yep, way up there.
It's still raining. Got a lot more rain coming too, so.
Yep, and our power's out here.
And our power is out. See if I can lift them both up. The left one's a lot heavier than the right. Oh, okay. Whew.
Yeah, come. Yeah, you're good. Yep, just come do that.
All right, we got the huge wood chip pile here, all banyan tree, so it's a bunch of good, more mulchy kind of stuff.
Yep.
Yep, and got leaves, so we're gonna go put it and give it to the chickens over in the chicken coop and around the garden, all the muddy stuff that's over here. So it's the chicken coop right now, it's starting to dry up, but as you can see, all bare ground, all mud. So as soon as water comes, whoo, it just stinks real bad. All right, let's start on the green stuff over here by all the grass. That way that can go in by the chickens and they'll be happy. Yeah. Okay. Got a chicken egg. Yeah. Closes though, and they're happy all scratching around. Success on that part. Now I just want to go and do this part over here where there's a bunch of dirt and mud all around these boxes. So you can squeeze right in here without scratching the beds. That might be as far as I get. Did it. All right, happy chickens, happy farmer. Got all the wood chips around, no more mud, and still got a giant pile left. So plenty more to do, but not today.
And I'm not sure if you noticed, while I was moving those wood chips, Emily was behind me in the background, putting up some new seeds in order to get some new plants going. Okay, now starting in April, this is when a lot of the bigger projects start happening. The first of which was to move the chicken coop. Not really move it a new location, but we shrunk it and made it taller. There was a group of maybe 5 of them that would fly out every single day over our little 3-foot fence, and it was getting really irritating, as well as they were starting to go into our garden beds and eat our seedlings, which pretty much makes my wife cry every single time she sees it. So we needed to do something pretty quick, and my solution was make it smaller and make it higher. This was a pretty special thing to do because I got to work with my son and my dad on this, and I don't do a whole lot of new projects with my dad. He usually kind of just does his own thing around the house, and if he sees you working on something, he passes by and you say, hey, could you give me a hand? He pretty quickly jumps in, and everything I know how to do or I've learned is because of him. He's just kind of a jack of all trades and would always be down to help out on any project. So if you're going to work with your dad, film it, record it, document that time. You got to cherish all the moments with your parents as they get older, and it was really fun to do that project with him, and even my son would hop in from time to time and hand us some screws or hold a piece of wood, and it was just a good project to do and really fulfilling to see something that was actually really going to help the garden, because these chickens were quite menaces in the garden and really causing quite a few issues. So a really fun project, which I ended up doing all the way into the night to add in all the extra chicken wire up higher so that they would be able to be fully enclosed and not be able to escape any little back spot, because they are pretty mischievous, and if they find one little loophole in your cage, they will exploit it and cause more damage.
All right, harvest time. Let's get some harvesting done. We have had a bunch of the carrots and beets get hit by the chickens, so we're just gonna harvest them. And 2 beets here. I think the birds are starting to hit them. I mean, not beets, bell peppers. The birds / ants have gotten. So. Pull hard, pull hard. Oh yeah.
Ooh, that's a good size.
Look at it. It's huge.
Here, you can put it in this basket right there. And we got some littler ones over here. Yeah, do a little 2-for-1 pull.
Well, this is gonna be a big one too, right here.
Yeah, that one's coming out.
Well, that was 4 there. Pull, pull, pull. Pull hard. Nice.
This one is yellow. That's it. I don't know. Let's get like maybe that one, yeah.
I mean, there's only like 4 left. Taking them all?
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna cut them and freeze them.
Okay. Tiny.
Look, they're they're done.
All right, just changed the chicken coop as well while we were here. The chicken coop used to go from that corner over there to here, along this area, and around right there. And now we just have a flat wall straight off the side of the chicken coop. Now we wall and then walled up there. So now, if we go in, still need to put a little hook on it. Now if we go in, the entire wall that surrounds them is the height of the rest of it, and hopefully they won't be jumping out and eating all the stuff in our garden. So hopefully it'll be a worthwhile project, but looks pretty good so far. Just need to paint it all red like the rest of everything on our property, and should be good to go, especially once we get a little latch on it as well. The seedlings are doing good. We've had a ton of rain. We have another storm that's coming. We're in the middle of it right now. Got the mulch pile behind us. Apparently had a bunch of mushrooms in it. Otto, where were those mushrooms at?
I'll show you. Let's see.
Oh yeah,
There's one.
there were a lot, huh? I can see that one right there. That one is falling over, and look, here's a new one coming up right here.
Oh.
See that new mushroom?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's one right there,
Yeah.
and there was like, I don't know, maybe 100 over here last night.
Yeah.
But maybe more will come up still. The ground is all pretty saturated, but we had sun. We still have a little bit of light today, so we are going to harvest the sweet potato patch. They've been in for 49 days now, which is about 20 days, 3 weeks or more past the time that they should be in there. And I'm sure the soil's pretty damp, so we're just gonna have to wash them off really good. This is the whole patch right here. We're just gonna cut off all the green with the machete and then use a pitchfork and get them all out. So let's get into it. Let's just start by doing some little pops like this. Ooh, a lot of worms though. Oh! That dirt flicked in my eye. Ah. Oh, I had to wash that out. Here's not a bad one right here. In this little corner, and let's see, I think there's a couple more roots in this corner. A slip, and it looks like I broke one, so let's see if we can get something out of this corner. Yeah, I don't want to break it anymore. Let's see, a little wiggle. Oh yeah, not bad. More little potato-like one. All right, oh, out of luck, we got another one right here.
What?
Another good one.
It had a worm on it.
Has a worm on it? All right, let's get it up.
Yeah. See the worm?
Oh yeah. Oh wow, Otto, yeah, you're right, it was a good one. That might be our best one. Sweet. Yeah?
Oh, that snail shell was empty.
Be good. Going crazy?
Yeah, he's mad.
He's mad at you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see if I can get him. So we got a couple of these kinds of things, slips that we can use, little tiny sweet potatoes with a root base, a little bit of greenie. Just like clip this here, and then we can use this. All right, so I got this kind of janky setup by all of this old exercise material my dad never uses in our busted up or non-working sauna, but this is gonna be the setup right here. So I'm just gonna set them up right here. It's kind of like a breezeway from our west side or east side to our west side here. So this should be able to dry out pretty good here. We're under a double covered deck. Doesn't get a whole lot of rain here, even when the storm's here. So they're pretty damp feeling right now, but they will cure and dry for probably a couple days to a week, just because they've been so wet. So I really want to make sure I get a lot of that moisture all out, so they'll last much longer in our pantry. I mean, granted, they don't need to last super long because this is only like maybe 2 or 3 dinners, but we've got all the slips for our next harvest or our next planting, so we'll go do that now. We have all the extra roots and slips that we can use. This is more of the ideal one we're looking for. It's got some roots coming off it, a bit more greenery. Just clip it on both sides like that. Plant that whole thing in right there, and then this little stem will come up and put our new leaves out. So this could end up yielding sweet potatoes from here, here, and this main shoot here. So got another one there. Poke up the dirt a little bit, cover them in, and continue on. This one I'm going to do a lot more dense, just so we have less pockets where there aren't. You know, like give it more space to really grow into, so that hopefully we can harvest even more in the summer. All right, it may not look like much, but that is all the slips planted up right there. So we should be able to get, I don't know, 20, 30 out of that one location. And all these greens can go to the chickens. They've been pecking away at a pile over here, all the ones I chopped off this morning. But yeah, pretty good harvest. I mean, for a fall/winter planting, we planted those in November, and then harvesting them in April, leaving them a little long is not too bad to get a couple nights dinner out of a harvest that most people around the world don't even get to do. So count it as a win, you know? Every win you get in the garden is free food. Again, we've got beetles. Well, see, that was wax. That's good. Waxy, 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 waxy. That's where it starts getting dry right there. All this dry stuff. We don't want that. We want it to be thicker wax. Let them eat that if they want. There you go, not too bad. This stuff, see how dry that is? Brittle.
Back in with the bees again, and I'm noticing this hive starting to stagnate. They just aren't really growing very well anymore, and I'm noticing that their numbers are kind of dwindling. I think they aren't maybe getting enough food because of how much rain had come and how many rainy days we had in this kind of unexpected spring. They were really struggling, so I started to ramp up feeding them a little more consistently again in order to help them out. as well as I removed some older comb that they just clearly were not enjoying. And on some of the frames that were doing well, I was able to see a little baby bee hatch out, which is pretty cool to capture. I then went and inspected the rest of the frames just to see how they're doing, and then added some more sugar water in front in order to help them out. Now we're in May, and there's this last garden bed that you haven't really seen me do much in. This is what we call the rock garden, which is all the rocks from a foundation from my brother's house that we had organized over here that I was amending. You saw me take out the sweet potatoes, and I added a bunch of banana leaves and then covered it with a tarp for about a month. After that, I put a bunch of new compost and soil on top and then wood chips and got it watered consistently. And that really helped the soil in this area to be ready to grow in after I got the water and irrigation set up. So I planted some kalo that I got from a little festival near us, and hopefully that'll be a nice beautiful plant in this area, as well as a bunch of corn, which my son really wanted to grow. This is glass corn, so it might not do super well because it's not particularly adjusted to this area. Sweet corn does really well around us, and there's plenty of farms that grow sweet corn, and it's super delicious. But we thought it'd be pretty fun if we got a couple glass corns and we could show them, and they'd be pretty to see at the end of the harvest. So we'll see how they do, but we put them in and got them all planted up as the rain started to return again. I also ended up putting another row of carrots into one of these Vigo beds and ended up getting quite muddy and pretty wet on that day. The following day, the sun's back out and the bananas are getting bigger and bigger. I think we're having quite a few bunches all go off at the same time when summer really comes around. Now that all the irrigation is set up, now that we're seeing less rainy days, we can consistently water our plants how we please. And we started to see all the corn come up, which was super exciting. We would do little magic dances around the corn and say our prayers at night because my son really wanted the corn to grow. Every single morning he would come into our bed and then leave our bed and say, I'm going to go check on the corn. And so he did that all the time and was really excited to see it grow as it went throughout the season. We even started to see some of our butternut squash starting to grow, as well as a bunch of the sun gold tomatoes, which we could go out and harvest anywhere between 10 to 50 a day. And we slowly started just to collect more and more that we had to put them in freezer bags because it was too much for us to take at once. Along with chili peppers, we also had our leeks, which were growing super well, and our new row of carrots and beets. And any of the tomatoes that split because we didn't get to them soon enough would go to the chickens, which made them very happy. And as I was talking about those bananas, we're still in spring, and we're starting to have a couple bunches that are turning a little bit yellow. And as soon as yellow comes, we have to get them harvested because the birds will attack them so fast. And on that same day, you can see how we'll have sun and then we'll have rain. And that never really stops us from working. So I had a friend come over and we cleared out a bunch of weeds from the main garden before we got into our next really big project.
All right, so we have a bunch of soil coming in just a few days. And it's about time for us to change up the banana trees over here. Got way too much growth on them. We need to transplant them to new spots so they can perform better. These are younger trees all behind me here. And they have clusters of like just three trees, three, all the way up. And that's kind of the better setup for them. And their roots aren't so giant and overburdened like you can see right here. You see all these trees that we've harvested in the past and all this new young growth, like there's tons of little ones. This is a one plant, one root, and now there's probably been 30 trees on it. So we need to uproot one and then we can plant it right next to it and start a brand new spot. But there's roots here. So I'm gonna chop all these out, chop some of these out, and just break up the roots so we don't have anything else in these areas. And that way we can have new plants here and in the middle, and we're just gonna move them over just so it starts a new cluster. You know, we're getting bananas, but we don't want tiny bunches. We want the big bunches like up here where you can see these trees. They've been going for just a little bit now, and these bunches are already much bigger because they're only their second generation. So let's cut up some banana trees and get them out of here. I like this tree here. I just needed it to have a, right there at the bottom, right there. That's the connection of the root to the old one. And we'll trim up a bunch of these roots, check for any disease, clean it up if we need to. And then this is gonna be planted in the ground. Come straight out the top and be solid. Oh, a nice one. Okay. 15 cubic yards, yeah? No, I need this one. So it's gonna be a new plant. Kick those guys. It's gonna go right here. So that's what I mean by cleaning up. Get all the roots cleaned up all around. We can inspect for any disease or pest. Wash them all off. And then a couple days, new stuff will come up right in the middle. Tuesday, we'll lay all the dirt all around it. And I've just got all those trees to cut down and get the roots out of. So, plus 4 more clusters, all down here, like that. As you can see, so there's quite a bit more to do. But you don't have to do it. It'll just be done.
Yeah, you're pruning them back.
All right, looking pretty sparse now, which doesn't look that great, but it's got to happen. These plants got to come down. I got 3 over here, 1 here, and maybe 2 more I'll pull from over there. It's gonna look a little sparse and empty now, but I left every single one that has a flower on it with a bunch. So those will all stay, and all the rest are gonna come down. And hopefully that'll help these produce faster. They'll hopefully grow quicker since they won't have as much, nutrients being sapped from all the other little trees below. So. This is just that one right here. There's just water pouring out of this, out of the top, this whole thing. The ones that I cut not too long ago, I'll show you what's happening with them already. Look at this. The amount of time that I've cut these down, an hour or so that they've been here. Look at that. It's already grown a 1/4 inch. That little tiny bit. This one, it's already grown. Goes right in the center. No roots, not in the soil. And they're still growing. All that water in there, the nutrients they have. They're programmed to grow. So once we get them back in, we'll fill one in right there. We'll fill one in right there, there, and there. So there'll be 4 spots all the way down, or 5 spots all the way down. All right, from where I left you last, you see there's probably quite a few more banana trees have been knocked down. But their giant root balls still remain. So I've got all these roots that need to come out, and I don't really know if this little size of bunch is worth saving, so I might take some of these trees out as well. This one's really close, that one can stay. And then I'll just take out this huge cluster of roots. Of course, picked a rainy day here in Hawai'i, and we're gonna keep going anyways. I, pretty much my entire life, wanted to drive this vehicle and use it on my farm, and I finally rented one. So we're gonna drive an excavator today, and I'm very excited to do so. Gonna get you guys out of the rain and hope you enjoy some, well, a novice learning how to use an excavator. All right, I didn't really think about where to dump it though, so I gotta figure that out now. Okay, so I successfully got them, but now I gotta figure out where I'm gonna put them. So, I mean, best thing I have is a wheelbarrow, and then just go dump them in our property until we have our green waste, because it looks like our green bins are pretty full. You can check this one right here. Oh, that one's empty. That one's full. So maybe I can load it up into this. Let's take this down here. It's kind of a tight little basket to aim it in, but I don't know. Maybe maybe I'll be lucky. All right, first time excavator work. Do you think I can get this into here?
I don't know. I'll set it up and see. What? Oh my gosh, this is way too fun. Okay, I could probably only fit like a couple more of those in there, so this is gonna, I need a new solution pretty quick. Okay. Doing something wrong here. There we go, that's what I want. All right, well, that's pretty good. Can you believe I made that one in there? That's pretty awesome. Okay, so I really just need to get the roots. I don't really want the dirt, so I'm just gonna knock the dirt off and then put the roots in. The roots is what I can't get out, so I need the machine for. So yeah, let's do that. That was a big part of the root, that right there. And we're good to keep the dirt, but we don't want to fill our whole entire green bin. Also, I don't know if you're supposed to fill your green bin with dirt. Only thing this one doesn't have is a little clamper arm thing, you know, so I can grab stuff. I was hoping it would have that, but I was not guaranteed to have that. Fortunately, this friend of ours has this machine, so he's giving us a deal for sure. Okay, it's still gonna be pretty heavy. I don't know if I'll be able to get it up in there. 2, 3. Bull says don't go into the machine or something. Okay. All right, I think I'll probably fit the next 2. Mail car's coming. Hopefully they're not coming through here. Perfect timing. We have a truck now. This is exactly what I needed. Oh boy. There we go. All right. Oh boy. Okay. Woohoo! All right, let's see if I can get it in the back of the truck then. Back of the truck should be easier. That's gonna get you, huh? This gate's gonna block you off. All right, I won't tell anyone if you don't. I can't get it in there without the claw thing though. I really need that little clamper. All right. Just gotta get it in there, man. Okay. Stand. Almost fell out. That would have been terrible. Oh, hello. Oh, that's pretty good. I don't know if I can get it in the truck though. A lot of dirt. All right, got that one in. Thank goodness we only have a couple of these because these things are giant. Look at that one. Just put this one in. I mean, there's a lot of dirt in there, but look, that's like a giant root. There ain't no way I was getting that up by my hand.
Look at the hole I left. So, a couple more to go. Let's get through this. That was bad. I just worry we're gonna fall out. I'm gonna make sure I drop this in the right spot. Alright. Nope, not that way. I gotta go that way. And honestly, I need to go forward a little bit. It's about as far as I can go. Alright, gonna drop it. Alright, let's see if we can get it to stay in. Alright, that was kind of sketchy, but successful. I definitely hit that a bit, push it down, but thank goodness this truck has some good shocks and we're making do. All right, couple more to go. I filled up the truck all the way, so just moving stuff over to here now. We'll dump the truck and then I can refill it. So that's the plan. Okay, found a little spot amongst my neighbors over here. They've got this little area kind of in the, I don't know, the jungle. They said I can just throw it all and dump it in. So that is a huge win that I don't have to take it so far. The real question is, how much can I move? Because some of this stuff is crazy heavy. But I do have a shovel to break it up if I need to into some smaller pieces. Okay. Woo! I almost hit the camera. Nice thing about bananas is they break down in just like a couple weeks or so. So this area will decompose and be a nice spot for these plants shortly. All right, 1, 2, 3. The only downside is bananas could grow from this. And I mean, not the worst thing, but I don't know if that's particularly what they want here. So we'll just cross our fingers they don't. They all just decompose and break down. Bananas are fairly resilient. I got to get one of these out of here. The excavator moves them so easily. Oh, mud just went all on top of my shoes. Whoa. Okay. 1, 2, 3. That might be the way to do it. Oh, this is not a good day. Just skip a solid breakfast. I've eaten very little today. Not a good call. Also, shovel smacked me right in the jaw. Very painful. Okay, well, hey look, it's empty.
got it all out. Not gonna get all the dirt out yet because we're gonna have more dirt. I'll clean it out all in one go. But there we go. Chuck the gloves back here. Pretty much spent, but I have another load to do. All right, let's keep going. What do you think about that, huh? That was pretty good. All right, that's about the day's damage. I'm gonna go do the last bits of dumps. Yeah, well, conclusion is pretty clear. These machines are very fun. So, got a lot done today. Show you real quick, this is the green, so I'll go in the green bin or we'll burn it. And then, didn't do too much damage on the yard, but it didn't do none. Some pretty good divots here. And then that part I'll have to kind of stomp down, just like this, you know, like that. But got two holes, there'll be a lemon tree and a lime tree right there.
Got all these banana stumps out right here, which are now in the back. That's my last dump. I'm just gonna cut these trees up and just lay them down there and let that just kind of mulch it. That'll be nice. And then for the final thing, you know, last thing that we did, here's the bananas we had to cut down, those 4 bunches. I think one of them might still go a little ripe, we'll see. They'll just be really small and probably not super sweet. And then here's the final thing. Got 2 trees there, and we've got a tree here and here, and then all the roots are out now. I just laid all the extra leaves on top. This is our mucky mess right here, and we're gonna get new dirt dumped here, and I'll fill it all in. So hopefully these last little banana bunches will still put out, and we'll get a couple more from these last bunch of trees. They did good, 4 years, put in a lot of work to them, and they yielded a lot of amazing bananas. Our favorite fruit and thing to grow on the property, but they're getting too crazy. So it was time for their turn to end and a new turn to begin. It's the next day now, and the dirt is here. So that's what we've been all doing all this preparation for. So they're gonna come right here and then dump. So make sure we get this all in focus for you. Yeah. All right, first one went in perfect. Just right where I needed it. So now I'm gonna see if I can get him over here and drop it right here. So let's see how well he does. Yep. Gonna use it everywhere. You hit one palm tree. All right, got the dirt. All right, so we got loads dumped all the way along here. This is where the big pile was. So it's all kind of pushed in here and then down there. So I'm going to just get that all taken care of in a little bit, but I only have this excavator for today. So then I'm gonna do this pile right here and gonna load it into there. So I'm loading it up over there, and then we're bringing a wheelbarrow over here to dump in this planter area right behind you guys, and in this one over here, because my entire life, this area has never gotten any new soil in it ever. So it's about time it gets something, and let's just get it up there. So we're gonna get a bunch of dirt there, and then we have a bunch of dirt right here. And we're gonna be clearing out all these weeds, all these little vines. Any of these that get left behind, we'll grow more of them. And we wanna grow
herbs and food here. Not sure quite what we know we're gonna put in here yet, but it'll be better than that. So, okay, pretty much into the evening until I can't see. Gonna be running this machine and bringing dirt back there and to the garden over here, and some of the holes I dug last night, and the hole right here. So, oh, some wind. That's nice. Kind of look like that. Oh, I had a lot of work to do.
And to prep all those holes, I went through and did the same thing. I took some banana leaves and I cut them up, as those are pretty high in potassium. They break down really well, and they allow really good root growth and leaf growth in the beginning stages. I also add a good bit of fertilizer to start off in the hole, and add a bunch of soil. That'll live below where the roots of the new tree is going to go, and put a bunch of nutrients in, hopefully break down some of the clay soil that's below it, and then just prep up these areas for the plants to do really well. So they'll immediately have nutrients below them that they can go reaching down to, and hopefully encourage their roots to spread out into those areas instead of staying in their cluster, in the pot that they're originally in.
All right, so that's what we're doing. Just taking dirt from spot to spot, enjoying our last few hours at the excavator. And we're gonna be doing that into the evening, till the sun goes down probably, or I get called in for dinner. So. All right, we got all of the dirt in relatively level, but we have the quantity that we need. So let's show you what we're planting in it. So I've got these that I cut out before I took all the roots out. As you can see, it's been 4 days and we've already got almost a foot of growth here. And then I've had them in buckets of water, and here's the new roots that are coming out right now. I've got spots marked out. There's a little dot or spot there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll do a 5th one there. Yeah, so let's put them in. And this one might seem a little close to these two, but these are both going to be cut down. These roots are going to be taken out in like within the next month. So this will be the new spot for the next one to grow. It's just kind of next to where that main root cluster used to be. And we've got a ton of great new dirt to put all around them. And before anything goes in, it's going to get about a cup of fertilizer all around and in the bottom, because they are heavy feeders. That is kelp meal, blood meal, bone meal, green sand, azomite, some lime, all to kind of just help them in their kind of first month of growth to really put out a whole lot of leaf growth and thrive. Cover those roots nice and good. And repeat. Okay, got all 5 of them in, and bring the water lines around and let them grow. This is the last one I take out since we just harvested it yesterday. The bunch just went off quicker than I thought, so had to do that one by hand. Tough, but we got it done. Time to go jump in the ocean. Excited to see
all this beauty happening down there soon.
Can you believe that I have this beach right across from where I live? And it's a blessing to have it there, but it's something I took for granted all the time as a kid growing up. So now that we're back, it is so nice to hop in the ocean, either before or after we work in the garden, every day that we possibly can. I'm glad I didn't record myself doing this tangerine harvest all that much because for some reason the audio was super blown out, so apologize for that. But this tangerine tree has now given us fruit twice a year. It has done that for now almost the past decade. It was about dormant for maybe the first 5 to 10 years, just growing and growing and growing with no fruit. And now it has made up for all of that pain because it just does so well, producing so much fruit for us.
There's still so many. Mud wasp nest built right on this little branch. I'm gonna make that branch be able to float after this. And we had so many, I couldn't even fit it all inside of this one bucket, so I had to use the second bucket here. We got a full bucket and another bucket over there too. We're in our house, it's cluttered, but whatever. Here's all the tangerines right here that I picked. Boom and boom. And if you want to guess now. 126 tangerines in these 2 buckets and 36.5 pounds of tangerines. So that is a pretty good first harvest, and I'd say I've probably only taken about like 60% off the tree so far. So we still have more that we can take off and eat, but these ones are going to get juiced in the next day or so, and get to have some yummy tangerine juice. It's very delicious from our tree. All right, got all the tangerines. Juicing it with our grandmother's juicer. Still going strong. Putting all the bad ones in there. Got these ones to go. That whole entire bucket. And that's where our juice is going. You got a big job ahead of you, yep. This is gonna take a while, huh? Looks pretty though. All right, so we've got, that's the lime, yep.
And you need this dirt, or is this extra dirt?
There's extra dirt and lemon. Lemon will go right there, and lime will go right there. All right, lemon tree, done. Done.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
Daddy,
Yep.
I planted the orange tree again.
I know. I saw you were in there. Got yuzu lemon and Tahitian lime. And these are gonna come out pretty soon, so should look nice.
Now that summer is officially here, the heat is definitely coming, and we're starting to see a lot of the plants do really well with all the additional sun that they're getting. So our corn is getting quite tall. A lot of our butternut squashes are starting to grow really well. The sage is doing well in these boxes, And then that's about it. Some of the flowers are doing well, but we started to run into a really big issue at this point. In several of our garden beds, we were just having a lot of things not grow well. And in one of our beds specifically, a ton of millipedes were coming in and eating all of our little plants, which was really bumming us out. But what we were really excited to get into was planting in some more squash and cucumbers over in the area next to our bedroom window. This is the area that I cleared out with the excavator, and I spent a full day pulling all the weeds out and putting in new soil. So we're very excited to see all the growth that will happen in this area.
All right, this is a pretty heavy one. Just started going yellow yesterday. We've got a couple bananas back here. Already eaten. All right, 1, 2. Oh, okay. Yep. There we go. You can see, as soon as it goes yellow, birds start getting it. So take it down. They're all gonna turn yellow in the next week, but on our counter, safe from the birds.
All right, now for the really fun part, all the banana harvests, which are probably one of my favorite things to harvest because you wait all year and you finally get a harvest and you pull off, 20, 30, 40 pounds of bananas all at once. And like I thought, all these trees ended up going off back to back to back. We ended up harvesting 1 to 2 bunches every single week for almost a month straight, which was pretty awesome. But harvesting all these bananas ended up leading to a new project we needed to do, which was build an area to hang the banana bunches in order to give them a space to ripen up and give them a spot that's safe from all the birds that come and attack them.
Which one looks bigger, Otto? This one? Mm-hmm. All right, I'm gonna pull out this frame, which we've been testing for a little bit. It was completely empty not too long ago. Oh, this isn't it. It is the next one. Well, this one was partially empty. This is all the new young comb right here. And you can see they've got babies throughout the whole thing. Beautiful young comb. And before I put it in, we'll just scan really quick to make sure there's no queen. Okay, I don't see her. All right, so I've been tracking this frame right here. I put it in about maybe almost 3 weeks ago, just to see how quickly they're building out their comb to kind of get a gauge of their health. We are now in July, so it's July 24th. So we've had this hive for quite a while now. They were doing really well, and then they kind of slowed down, which was unfortunate. They've had a top box on, so they can build out honey if they want, but I just don't think they're at that stage yet. I think they've been recouping because they swarmed about a month ago and lost their queen. So let's just see how much they've built out. Well, it's getting there. It is a little on the slow side, I would say, though, but it is beautiful and it's young and new, and that's what we want to see because it's not very likely for diseases or anything to live on this, and it's all fresh, and she's got eggs in these on both sides, and since she's clearly been laying here, we'll just take a peek to see if we see her. I don't see her on this, so but yeah, it's good to see the progress they're making on this. We're now July 24th, like I said, so we've had this hive for about 8 or 9 months now almost, since we first got it from that little swarm, and overall going a little slow, but they're doing good. They're putting in the work that needs to be put in, and hopefully this next month, throughout this summer, they'll really pick up pace, and we'll get this top box right here. You can show this top box. Hopefully this will get filled with honey, and we could even just even if we got a couple frames out of it, that'd be a win, without putting them in a negative position. But yeah, that's the bees that we've been tracking throughout this whole video. So
kind of cool to see where they're at. I'll pull out one more frame so you can kind of see how big they're getting and their numbers, and also get an eye on the queen if we can find her. Yeah, it's full of brood, so queen has definitely been active, which is great to see. I mean, I don't know about your side. My side is filled. So there's like barely even any spots open. So she was here a week or so ago. And oh yeah, this side's pretty full too. Yeah, so this is really packed. All right, we're a little later in the afternoon, so they've been kind of a little bit upset at us, giving us a little more fuss than we want. But we see a ton of her work. There's definitely eggs throughout the whole hive, tons of larvae. So she's here, she's working. I don't really have a concern. Like, there's not a need to get an eye on her because I see her work. So, gonna close them up, and hopefully you guys stick around. You know, later this year, you'll be able to see us get a good honey harvest from this hive and the one that's next to it. And we're excited to see what they do. Hopefully they'll make the most of this summer and grow nice and big and strong and add a little bit more honey than they've been doing. But it's a tight hive, and I'm looking forward to see what they do. Okay, well, you reached the end of the video, and the chili pepper is very hot, so I might as well show you that. We're going right here. So this is the Hawaiian chili pepper got from a friend, and it's been growing really well. So you can see we have been getting hundreds off of it every single month. Right here we have the sweet potatoes patch, which have been growing really well, and it's super big, growing up this trellis here. And the main reason I built this trellis was for all these tomatoes, which are sun golds, and they've been growing really well over this whole thing. We have about 2 gallons frozen in our freezer. Behind me is the tangerine tree you saw me harvest not too long ago, which has produced really well for us. Okay, we then have peppers and kale here, and beets, which are just about ready to harvest. They're doing pretty good. I'll come back with those later. We got rosemary and lemon balm, along with cucumbers and patty pan squash, which will hopefully take up this whole area pretty soon. Oh my gosh. My face is tingling and I don't do well with hot. Holy crap. All right, here's the Tahitian lime that we planted. There's the Tahitian lime we planted not too long ago, along with the yuzu lemon, and then a bunch of string beans. Over here, we're at chickens, which are dying down in production. We're only getting like maybe 5 eggs a day from them right now. Holy crap. And then we planted a bunch of flowers here in our lay garden, along with flowers here and sage. And in here, we just have a little bit of seedlings. Our lilikoi vine is doing really well, putting out a ton of flowers, but only a little bit of fruit so far. We're hoping more summer and a little more consistent watering will help them do even better. I gotta finish this soon. I'm dying. I need milk. All of our corn has unfortunately died. The kalo is still making its way, doing okay. You might have seen right here, the ulu tree is our little first ulu here, breadfruit. Super stoked on that. Doing well and growing. Oh. All right. Right here we have the starfruit tree. You can see a bunch of little flowers. Super pretty. My mouth is numb. So that one's doing really well. These trees are adjusting well. And then here's the mountain apple, which is putting a bunch of new leaves, new growth. Looks beautiful. So I'm super excited for these 2 trees. take up this area a lot more. All right, at the orchard, and then we're done, which is where we did a lot of work. So it's I'm gonna show you right here our new little spot to hang bananas. Got here, still going, and all these, which the birds are getting too, so I'm keep them covered. But I harvested 4 banana bunches, about over 100 pounds of bananas. It's been amazing, and I probably gonna eat one out after this. The huge project, which was the changing out all these bananas, cutting them all out, excavator work, are all growing up and looking great. I'm super stoked on that. That one's coming along. Our Pilkenny tree, looking beautiful. They'll get pruned later this year. I've harvested 2 bananas from this. These are all doing great. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, oh my gosh, and 5 bananas bunches here, along with calla all on the ground. And our fig tree has actually come back too, which is super exciting. And then the last plant to show you before I die, avocado tree we put in about 2 years ago. It's doing super well. It's got a little disease pest down here, but we're spraying it with neem in the evenings. And overall, it's gonna be a beautiful tree. Takes up this whole area right here. Super excited about that and all the plant growth. My upper lip is sweating. My mouth is on fire. My groin is hurting. And my face is like tingling. So these are the plants. This is the work we put in. I'm super happy with what we've done this year to better the land, better our food reserves. And I hope this was worth watching my pain to the very end to see all that we've done on this land. Super happy with it, and love you guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you subscribe and follow along with more of what we grow. Thanks. Bye. Oh my gosh. Helps immediately. Oh my God. Oh my gosh, that was the hottest pepper I've ever had. And if you look it up, it only says like, I don't know, 30 to 50 Scovilles, but in certain good growing conditions, it can go over 250,000. So I don't know what it was or how hot it was, but it's hotter than I do. My nose is watering. Oh, I've had so much spit. My face is still tingling. Oh, I want to drink water. I hear that's bad. We don't have any yogurt or ice cream or milk. I don't normally buy this, but I'm very glad I had it on hand. Okay, bye guys.